Everybody, do. Hey, welcome to another weekly live stream, fellow Mythrunians. Tonight we're trying to cram as much stuff into the release as I can get in. Basically, I'm ready to cut the release. It's just I'd have to like remove a lot of content, like some of the temporary buildings and stuff we were messing with if I don't finish some things up. So thought we'd see what we can get in tonight. Cut the release tomorrow. Should be up tomorrow night or Monday or something. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Everybody raise a glass to my heroes and superheroes. They help keep the lights on here. I generally just about break even with server and domain costs and stuff, so it's nice. Thanks guys. All right, and with that being said, let's get rid of the Drost effect here. Woo. And get started. So where were we? So last time, I don't even remember what we were working on last time, but let me talk about what I've been working on. I've got like a ton of stuff kind of in flight, and I've pretty much, yeah, I mean, there's some things I may not take care of this release. Pretty sure not, in fact. And if we find any new bugs as we're messing around with stuff, you know, we may mess with that too. But in the meantime, so yeah, if you download the game, by the way, there's the link to the Discord if you want to join the Discord. Then you can chat with fellow Mythrunians about Mythruna and other game-related topics. But yeah, so what have I been doing? So I fixed the awning blocks so that I could, so we can actually have those covering the windows and stuff. And then I like added a bunch of block shapes and got those to work too, so that I can make tents, which I'm pretty happy with. So we may make some like merchant points of interest or something to scatter around the world or in towns and stuff. Maybe that'll be one of the things we work on tonight. I also have to, I've redone the clay brick because I dove a little bit more into my desert architecture research, and it's mud bricks that they use, which makes more sense. And so I redid that, and I call it mud brick. I'm going to get rid of the clay brick because later there will be, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I might have just unplugged myself. Let me make sure that OBS is still hear me. Yes, you hear me. Yes, OBS still hears me, so I didn't unplug myself. Good. Yeah, so one of the things I have fixed is the coloring of these blocks. They don't look right now because I just fixed that literally just before you started. So like if you get closer, they change right to the real blocks. Oh man, things are always so much slower. Let me make sure my clip is set correctly because that's one of the big. Okay, 3 is fine. So if I fix these, if I, yeah, so now instead of stucco, we have mud brick stucco. And so if I do this, it should let them regenerate. So I've redone, let me back up time a little bit. I've redone the brick. So it's still rough, but a little bit more regular. I've got the old brick, and I've made the top so that it's seamless. You can see it like tiles correctly, which means it's like a regular grid now. This is the old stuff. It had like a big gap between the things. Some of the things almost merged together. There are some aspects of this I liked better, but the regularity of it, of this, even though like I have like, you can see there's some of the blocks are a little twisted, and I did that on purpose to kind of give it, and I may do more to roughen it up a bit like I did for the, it's a double-edged sword because it, like you can see I added like these little accents to rough it up, but now that shows as a repeating pattern, so it's like the more regular it is, the less it looks as repeating. I don't know, it's kind of weird, like it's a jarring repeat to me, but like this one you can see regularly bump, bump, bump. Same kind of thing. So if you make the variation too obvious, you'll see it repeat over the meter blocks. And so eventually, I'll add more like, I'll use this kind of effect to add dirt and stuff to it so that it breaks it up a little bit. But I wasn't really happy with this old one, so I made a new one, and that's the bottom line. And so then I've got the stucco that uses that too. So I need to go back to all these buildings and edit them to replace the clay brick with the mud brick. I have started, like as a example to see the difference, I started doing it here so you can see the difference between this floor and this floor. And in here you see the difference between this wall and this wall, and so on and so forth. So that's what I was playing with. I need to fix all these. I also, again, implemented a lot of these blocks are going away. The only types are these slopes. Yeah, you see I have a stone version over here because I was checking the lighting. So this is maybe what a tent would look like for, you know, traveler or merchant or something. And I like it, the geometry nicely lines up with like the screens and stuff, so they could have a little separate kind of room in there if they wanted to. You know, I imagine this is the kind of thing they'd pack away into their wagon or something. Yeah, these were my experiments with different tent types and shapes and things I liked and things I didn't. And anyway, all that's garbage. And then just the other night I needed some downtime, so I turned this into a house under construction by swapping out some of the blocks. Because one of the things I had to implement for these was hollow blocks. So this is actually a wedge. Actually, this is a wide wedge. And so it's just hollow inside, which means I can't actually walk into it because it thinks it's still a solid block. But essentially two sides, in this case, the back and the bottom and the top aren't drawn. They're not even there. And the sides are selective depending on whether, so like this has a side because there's nothing here, but if you put something there, it gets rid of that side. And so that let me go back and fix these blocks because they were just using a double-sided material, which meant that the lighting on the back sides was all messed up all the time. So now I've got that fixed. So I think today what we'll be doing is we'll be fixing all of the thanks. Today what we'll be doing is I think I'll add this with some other details, like I think maybe like what do I think? I think that something like I'm just trying to think of accents that might be here, if things that I can add to make it a little bit more. See, low beams, what I want. And so like you could have maybe something like this sitting over here, which could be, you know, something they've set up to do something, tie their horse or something, I don't know. Or even from that perspective, we could do something a little less dramatic, right? It's just something they've set up to do something here. You know, and so then I can have some settlements that are just a couple of these tents, and maybe they appear out in the world, and maybe someday NPCs will be in here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fix the existing buildings, try to get all the desert buildings ready. I was messing with 2-story desert buildings. I don't know that we'll have that done. I was also trying to look at why sometimes the windows get covered up when I thought that the way I was doing it should have worked. So we may mess with the rules and how it decides to merge a building with the terrain, because I think there's something I broke at some point. But yeah, this is like an idea for a 2-story building, and in the desert, basically the kind of architecture we're doing, the stairs would be on the outside, so these would be kind of almost 2 different houses just built on top of each other. And so these kinds of things will eventually replace, you know, like the big buildings like this. Probably there would be some with basements. Anyway, so we'll just see what we can get done today. Again, I'm not 100% happy with these existing houses, and I feel like there should be some walls or something in here. But on the other hand, something's better than nothing. And I've wasted or spent a lot of time on the desert buildings when desert towns at this point are actually super rare. So it's not like it happens very often. I just thought when it does, it shouldn't be just the standard wattle and daub buildings, because where are you going to get all of that wood out here? Right? So wood and stick intensive. I can't even remember what they make daub out of, but like all of that is like, it's very resource intensive for a desert climate. So probably you wouldn't make those out here. You'd save your water for the crops. So anyway, that's all I think I want to say. So I'm currently currently getting rid of the clay brick. So we'll get to that. I'm trying to remember if I did anything else significant since last week. I don't remember what we even worked on last week. Yeah, I showed you guys last week the clothing selection. You can randomize names. Oh, I got random town names working. Excuse me, I got an itch in my ear. I got random town names working, so that's pretty cool. I ended up with like 18 or 19 different cultural reference types with different languages and stuff. So next time we jump into the world, I'll maybe show you that. But first, what I want to do is, I think we're going to cheat. And I think we can go here. Yeah, reload, because I don't need to. So the block files are kept. So first of all, so we call them desert buildings 1. So basically, if I go through here and I find all clay brick and I replace it with mud brick, replace. So these are the block.blocks files, which is part of the open source MOS stuff. It's sort of a mblock is the library that Mythruna is built on, and this is one of the file formats it supports, and it's what the block editor uses, that blocked tool. And so it just uses numbers down here, but it tells at the beginning of the file, it tells what the numbers mean. Generally, it is the block type of whatever block type index you've got, but because block types can be added and removed to make these formats more portable, they give them a little index up front, which is also convenient because it means I can go in here and easily remap them. But what I will do is, see, I don't remember the Unix command to do this, so I will find in files, clay brick. We want to start with .blocks, star.blocks, and we want to do that from wow, we are in, this is even the old Mythruna directory. Okay, so version 2 of the engine that was never released. So we're on version 3 of the engine technically, but I'm just going to call it Mythruna from now on because it's, so they never really released a version 1. There is no version 2 or version 3. There's just Mythruna. What was I doing? Oh yes, block set. I'm about to go to here, and I think if I do source main shaper, then we will also find all of the, we'll find all the structure ones too. Oops. Frick. Okay. So like we found, yeah, all of the part blocks as well that I used to generate those buildings. And so if we just open all these files, 15 files, yes. Okay. And then we close this and we do search and replace. And all documents. Clay brick to mud brick. We're going to have to be selective though. Replace, 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 replace. Because I don't want to replace them here. Skip, skip. I mean, I have a lot of open files. Oh. Yeah. Drive W has probably powered itself down. There it goes. Alright. Oh man, we're gonna... I should have closed this file. In fact, I will. Close that file and we'll do this again. Replace. Skip, skip, skip to my loo, skip, skip, skip to my loo. Alright. Replace, 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 replace. I think I just do replace all. Oops. I was thinking it would just do the file I was in. So we want to undo this. Oh boy. We'll reload. Reload. Yes. Okay. And then... yeah, that's not a real file. G. Okay, so... Clayhouse test blocks, sure. All of those should be good. So we should be, say, save all. Yeah, I can't see it, and this is not an expandable window. Save all. Okay. So now, if I was to go and run blocked, one of the tools that comes with the Mythruna open source libraries, which I made version 1 of to actually make, for my kids and I to make a game one summer, but this was like before COVID, that's how long ago that was. So let's open one of the desert buildings and we'll double check it. Yeah, because that's the other thing is I want to mess with the, I've got different awning types at my disposal now, so I think I may mess with them. So it's, come on. So this is what it looks like now with the more sterile brick. Oh, the other thing is I can, I went ahead and created more block types for the, that's cool the way it, I like it when it lines up. Anyway, so all of these that are, I can actually do slab up now. But let's see. We don't want to do it everywhere because I've got that support wall in there. So we can, oops. Yeah, that's the other thing is, let me go ahead and get rid of all these. See, I'm replacing like the full blocks with the partial blocks, which means that like it gives a little bit more headroom in here for the normal, rather than like this low, constantly trying to clip the head. I think it makes the architecture inside a little weirder, but I actually appreciate the visual interest. I'll show you what I mean about weirdness. About not, I mean, appreciation is in the eye of the beholder. So, like, I don't know if I like that. I probably would replace that with a with something else. But you get these little ridges where the the stucco is wider. So I guess that's okay. But it makes it more visually interesting to me. Yeah. anyway, so this is a building that's been fixed. We can mess with the awnings because, like, I've been looking at it, and these are okay. I just I have options now, so I want to play with. Let's go and save what we got. Oh, like now I have not just the wedge, but I have the steep wedge. So I can actually replace these with something like this, right? Which I can't decide if that looks better or not. And mostly I'm thinking from underneath, it's a little bit less, I don't know, maybe it is better to have big. I think in the end it would depend on, street layouts and things. But so all three of you who are on right now, what do you think? The short ones or the longer ones? And let me give you even a third option, because I also have low wedges, so I could replace them with low wedges like this. So I'm thinking this or this. But can't really decide. The short ones, yeah. I think it looks more like something that would be supportable by the materials. The steep ones on the, yeah, okay. Oh no, woozy. Woozy, are you feeling woozy? Sorry. I am a dad, so the dad jokes just come naturally. Or is it like a cold flu type illness? Yeah, so we'll swap them out for these then. Okay, so just some of the windows. Okay, so this building has been fully fixed. So save this one, open another one. Desert building 2, load. Alright, this one doesn't have any whatchamacallits. We can fix the roof. It's like I enjoyed dad jokes even before I was a dad. And my youngest child is now almost 20 years old, so I had my oldest 22 or something, right? I think that's right. I'd have to do the math to be sure, but so I had all those years to then really appreciate dad jokes. I accidentally destroyed part of my house here. So let's fix this roof. Oops. Keep doing that. I miss my click. Okay. Fix this roof. This is a boring house. It doesn't have any awnings. Although we could put a little awning over the door. A thin one. Steep wedge. Boink. Nope. Boink. There we go. Yeah, I like that. And actually, you could do like that. Yeah, I like it. Send it. Okay. Okay, so load this one. This one's got a whole bunch of them, so let's just go ahead and replace them while we're here. I think I'm still configured there. Let's see. Nope, exactly backwards. Oops. Boink. Boink. Alright, this one's wide is good. Okay. Yeah, that adds even more visual interest. And I put sand around these because I thought it was going to do a specific thing. But then it turns out no. So before I get too deep into this, let me relearn. So this is how the ground gets carved out for the far terrain. And it's returning this -2, which does mean something specific, even though it says don't change anything, not even the level. That is not what -2 means, I think. I think that comment's old. Essentially, when the far terrain is generated, we're just generating levels and terrain types, but if there's going to be buildings there, I need to like carve out the ground for them, because eventually I'll generate the low res building. It's got to be able to sit there, even if there was like a little mountain or something there. Excuse me. So all of those and I think that's what sets up to I think that's what carves the ground out for, the rules that I had. I'm thinking in but then, when the actual blocks are rendered, it may do other things too, but I figure if we get the world part right first. Okay, here's where the apply inserts function. So for each insert, which is, so we check the ground level, yeah, calculate the tile relative index for this location, yeah, existing terrain type, sure. Then we use the type function, which is something else. And okay, so that's just checking ground level and below. I think that's important to remember. When we define one of these buildings, we have a ground usually built in, like this one has a ground at level 1, right? So the first block is ground. So ground level would be 1 for this building. And so, so we go through the blocks to see if any of them would transform the terrain type. But then also, we go through the type combiner. So if the existing terrain type, existing elevation, so if we get, see, -2 does a specific thing here. So if the existing elevation is greater than the elevation, and the elevation is less than y plus ground level. Okay, so existing elevation is y plus ground level plus 1. So at this particular place on the land, whatever the current ground level is, I think is y. Y is the y of the insert itself. So we're putting, okay. And so elevation in this case, in this one, would be wherever we want to place this in the world, plus the ground level is 1, plus 1 more. And so, okay. I don't know why plus 1, but there's a reason. So that's what elevation is. And then existing elevation is what the terrain, the fractal says it should be this height. Okay, so if the terrain is greater than the elevation of the block floor, sort of, and the elevation of the block floor is less than the ground, then, okay, so that makes sense. That's the sand is supposed to carve out. This logic is, so, but we can only carve out to the point of, elevation minus. So okay, here's what. Okay, I gotcha. So this loop, in addition to, so this it's iterating over the like a column of blocks, like this column, for example. it iterates down from the ground level. So here it would get to here and it would find this sand here. And so elevation by the end of this is actually that sand block. Whatever y plus that sand block is. And so then we're saying, yeah, so it should work like I thought it did. But when it doesn't, I will come back here. Okay, so I don't have to mess with the sand. Is supposed to work like I think it does. That's the bottom line. And what I mean is, like, if we were placing this house somewhere in the world and there was a big sand dune right here, what this is supposed to be saying is carve that space out of the sand dune so that there's nothing above this terrain, so that these windows open into open air. And the difference between this and dirt is that if there was, like, if we were on the edge of a cliff, we're not going to put terrain here. So sand says, make sure the space above this is empty, but if there's nothing here at all, don't do anything. Don't put dirt or anything else. Whereas, like, normally dirt or grass says, build the land up here, right? If there was no terrain under this door, we're going to build the land up. In fact, I probably need to make sure that we have places to walk around the doorway. Now I think about it. So save that. Let's open the other one just to make sure similarly that there's spaces to walk around the door. It's too many of my houses, like they generate and then like there's only like 1 or 2 blocks around the door. Okay, so open. So while we're here, we might as well fix these buildings, right? So this is the one I already fixed. Right? Did I do the interior? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we can. I still have to finish fixing that other one, but okay. So we've got this. We've got carved out all around the house. Good, good, good. Yeah. So see, sand is supposed to carve out. And I think that we did not do the roof yet. Okay, so we got a boink. Okay, yeah, I didn't want to fly anyway. I get confused with my controls sometimes. Slab up. There's lots of hotkeys in this editor. So if you were running the editor yourself for whatever reason, like C will select an existing block, block type, and then you can, find other things. But spacebar will put you into like run around on the ground mode, and then spacebar will move you out of it, and like Z and A move in and out, just like in the games editor. Actually, the C works in the game too. There are a few other features in here that are not in the game, in the in-game editor. Obviously, you've got a lot more menus and things. But the other thing is, like here, if you hold Shift, you can then use the A, S, and D, W, or A and D to move around, move your center of orbit, which is useful for big area, big things you're making. Okay, so that one's pretty good. All the awnings have been converted. Okay, so let's try the bungalow, and we're going to try to figure out why. So the grass is a special one because grass says not only build the terrain up here, and not only keep everything above it clear, but use whatever existing block type is there. That's why this turns out to be sand when we're in the desert. But yeah, this should have totally kept these windows blocked out. And the only thing, 1, 2, 3, is that maybe I set the terrain type wrong. Let me go check. or the ground level wrong for these. It should be 3. We want test. No, it's the test block registry. That's the one we want. Sorry, I got an itchy nose today. Yeah, no, set it to 3. Which is what it should have been set to. I don't know why this is not carving out. So that may require some more digging at some point. But I also think I might make sure this area is carved out. Oops. Actually, maybe just the side. So if we had a big cliff here. Yeah, so I may need to find a town that generates with this in the wrong place. And then, so slap down is already set there. So I may need to do some debugging, but you know what? Probably not today. Okay. I wanted to go in here and think about walls. So I think if I should be able to hit the space bar. Not so sometimes it lets me stay where I am and hit the space. Yeah, there we go. So I can come in here and select the walls. Is this the one I want? Yes. And so then is to step with a wall. Nope, not that wall. This wall. And so I can look around a little bit. Okay, so see, we've made a sort of additional room. Actually, let's extend that out one more. See, this is where the C key really comes in handy because you can select an existing block. That works in the game too, by the way. C is just a universal. Select the block under the cursor. And I think maybe we'll make the doorway. Yeah, we'll make a full doorway. So C. This is like way less convenient than editing things in the game, of course, but some aspects of this are better, some not. Okay. So I don't hate it. Yeah, I'm thinking in game mode, so this is the real mode here. I kept going back to walking around. I think maybe I'm going to extend this up like this too. And yeah. I'm okay. I like it. I mean, I like it as much as I like this building at all. Which is to say, not very much. One other thing we could do is we could put little awnings over this that that would also make sure that they stayed clear. In fact, let's I think that I have those, the steep wedges. Yeah. So we'll put little little window covers over. keep the rain out. I mean, it doesn't fit the rest of the architecture of the building unless I also put them here. And yeah. And extend that out. I think maybe that's okay. I could also use the beam down. Yeah, it's like similarly here. Up. That looks stupid. This looks okay. Yeah, I guess since this, yeah. I don't know. I feel like these need something though. It doesn't matter, like, so like if we do that, I think that prevents us from being able to walk out of the door. So let's try what this looks like. Actually, I don't mind that because it kind of like goes with the whole turtle shell look of the thing. It just makes me want to have this a little higher. Anyway, I'm gonna go with it. I can't spend too much time on any one building today. So the desert keep is probably fine, actually. Looks so sanitized in this environment, though. Okay, so what do we got inside? Okay, we do have the clay brick. Cool. So we have a clay brick floor. I'm okay with that. I feel like this sandstone cobble texture needs to be punched up a little bit when there's not a whole lot of lighting. It just kind of looks cartoony, but in a lot of cases it's got the lighting and it doesn't look so cartoony, so it's like tough to say. So we've got a decent little thing. Oh, I realized before that I forgot to put a little thing on one of these. This one. Yeah, on this one too. So I noticed when it generated in that town that it was missing a thingy. Okay, so now we can make a new thing. And so let's make a tent. And we want to put down dirt, and I think what I decided, whoa, we want dirt cube, thank you. I think what I decided was that I think my tent was, actually I can just look. Oh boy, teeny little thing. Okay, so this is my comparing the thing. This was when the top texture was still just regular brick before I turned it into the better tiling. Come on. Okay, I don't care about all these. That's pretty cool. This one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because I've centered the door. Yeah. Okay. So we want a little wider. Oops. To account for the expansion. I think that is correct. So let's go with the awning, and we can move a little closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. So awning, we want the wide wedge. which one we have. Hey, I picked it correctly the first time. That almost never happens. Uh-oh, picked it correct twice in a row. Yeah, sometimes I get the rotations, like the middle mouse wheel the mouse wheel, there's only one mouse wheel, will pick a rotation. Oh yeah, these are going to be fun because there's nothing to collide against, so I can't actually set blocks on top. If you roll the mouse down and you rotate this way, each one is the next rotation you need, right? So sometimes I get that right. Sometimes I get it exactly backwards. Anyway, we need a doorway, and I'm going to need to do this trick here temporarily so that I can put the other blocks in. I know it's stupid, but it's just the way this editor works. Yeah, this editor is better in some ways. Like, it's easier to select certain blocks in here. But the in-game editor is better in other ways because it actually uses the collision shapes of the objects, which means sometimes you can't select through where you could select through here. This one's actually using, JMonkey Engine geometry collision. Because it's a simple tool. So I should be able to rotate back. Yep. Doink. Doink, 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 doink. And we'll actually need those blocks in a minute anyway, because we're going to need we're going to have the same problem when we want to put the regular wedges on. Yep. See, this time I pushed forward like I was supposed to. Okay, and then we'll use, so now I can get rid of all these interior blocks before I do anything else. In fact, I need to place some wood posts before I get too much further. It's like I try to imagine how a Mythrunian person would have packed all this stuff into their wagon or whatever. And so I imagine, the larger posts form kind of a frame within which the cloth parts are packed, So there's these 4 posts, and there's 2 posts for the door as well. In fact, let's go ahead and place those. Boink, 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 boink. Okay. So we got those. And then the little board that goes on top of these could be like the underneath, that supports it all. So maybe there's some way to hook. I don't know. I like to imagine things because I feel like if I've at least thought of it, then it adds a little depth. That's our corner there. Boink. Oops, wrong way. See? I went too far. Okay. Now we can grab one of these. Nope, one of these. Oops. Oh, right. Shoot. I'm going to need my... boy. I can't win. There we go. Yeah, so actually this is like the worst combination of both, it seems, because I can't select through some things, and then anyway, it's very annoying. So we can put these little slabs here for the doorway, And before I completely close off the interior, let me get my little wood screen. Hey, it's even correct. And then, okay. And now, actually that's gonna help me place these high slab. Yeah, that's exactly what I want, in fact. To place, oh crap. To place the roof. How come? So see, this is like the worst of both worlds. Because for some reason, like it won't. It's thinks I'm on the wrong side. I wonder if it's because those got double-sided faces. You guys. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I think that because of the double-sided faces, we end up in this weird place where I actually can't do what I want to do. Yeah, I need to fix this someday because it's really annoying. Yeah, actually, that's the other thing is I really wanted these to be that's what I want to do. I wanted to get rid of oh my god, this is so annoying. I can't select the thing I want to select. There we go. I want to get rid of these. Here we go. Because I was using the wrong rotation. I know it's dumb, but I want it to line up front to back. And so there's a separate rotation for that. That was weird. None of that should have worked, but it did. Crap. There we go. Yeah, odd shapes are so hard to select in this tool. Yeah, I did it right first time. Yay! Okay. Oh, I killed one of my... There we go. Yeah, when it's like when you're here, it's telling you the yellow box is telling you where you're going to place, and the one with the X is telling you what you're going to remove. And so over here, when I was doing these, it was just telling me the yellow box was fine, but the remove box was like way something weird. But in the end, it worked. Okay, so we will call this tent 1. We save it, and I'm going to put some grass around it. To make sure, grass, because need a cube. That's not what I want. I want this selector. Okay, so we just want to make sure that there's plenty of room. Nobody's going to be building a tent right up next to a cliff. At least probably not. Like, just the logistics of it. How would you get back there to set it up, you know? We're gonna... Okay. In fact, we can assume maybe that there's going to be like a little campfire or something out here, but I think that is good enough. So we've got a tent. Save. Oh. Okay. Yeah, now lighting in the tent is weird. There's no good place to place a light because of the way the geometry works. Which is why I ended up putting one on the ground. Oh, shoot. Left some of the things inside. That's why I ended up putting one on the ground. See, this is a block like this. Yeah, so see, he's in the wrong orientation. The regular lanterns, they have to go on a surface, right? And none of these have a surface to put them on. Because, you know, the solid surface is in the back. And if I tried to hang it from the ceiling's too high. So I ended up just putting one on the ground. And that's fine. These lanterns are not hot. They're not going to burn anything. And you might be saying to yourself, well, of course not. They're just graphics. But I mean, eventually things will have a nature to them, and you wouldn't want to necessarily build a fire. Logically, you don't want to build a fire inside of a tent, but like eventually in the game, the plan is for that to be a bad thing. Okay, so actually, maybe we put it back here. Yeah. So, not out here. Okay. So, I mean, if I get all the things I want done, the heat will flow and so on and so forth, and you don't want to put... that's actually annoying. Maybe I did want to... whatever. I'm not going to stress too much about it. Yeah, I wish that I could place objects. Again, I want to add like some kind of separate... Like I've got the fluid stuff. What is X? What was that? Oh, that was to play with the chopping. Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, I want to add some kind of annotations where I could like mark this is where a campfire could go, that kind of thing, and you know, where objects could then be placed in the world. But I have not added that to the editor yet. So what else do we want to create? I'm wondering if I can come up with an idea for a merchant stall that is simple enough not to paint me into a corner later, because really merchant stalls will be more object than block. But let's see. Oops. That's not what I want. Let's just experiment for a second while we're here. Let me think. What would be good? We could try placing some posts. It's going to be the tricky part. You need some kind of counter. Only an hour into the stream and already I'm out of Pepsi. Alright, where is the high slab? There it is. So if we wanted to have some kind of countertop, okay, supported by nothing, right? But what would we want? We would want Do the walls connect? I actually think they don't. Oh, they do. Oops. Okay, so we've got like a basic countertop, and you think that, oh, that looks like a bench, but actually it's a meter tall, so I don't think you'd want to be sitting on that. It's probably twice as tall as what you'd want to be sitting on. So we've got like some kind of countertop, and the geometry of this means we could put posts up like here. Oops, wrong way. Right, and then we could even wrong button. We could even have like make the counter a little wider, maybe. Maybe that's too wide. Similarly, we could just set it that way all the way around. Actually, I kind of like that, actually. Now my dilemma is I was hoping to use awnings for this, but they don't work so well here. We will certainly want this to be dirt under here. So at least around, people are going to be walking here a lot, right? So there wouldn't be grass. There would be grass, or whatever the normal. Yeah, so dirt is like grass, except for if the existing terrain type, I think that it won't, I don't think it'll replace like grass is always the existing terrain type, and I think that dirt will be the existing terrain type too if it's like stone or sand. If it's grass, it'll turn it to dirt, that kind of thing. Okay, so we've got this, and I want to put some kind of canopy over the top. But I'm concerned about my geometry options here. Like I could go full on, so I could make it look right from the outside. Right, I could temporarily put like a cube on top of these guys. Oh, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Maybe this works out. Now see if I put awnings around this. It looks okay, I think. Well, maybe it doesn't, and then it doesn't matter. Which wedge? That wedge. What are we going to say? Hey, what all are you making? I'm making lots of things. Right now I'm trying to make like a merchant stall or something. With some of the new block types I have. Oh boy. There we go. But geometrically they don't necessarily make sense. So like I had to fix a bunch of other boy. There we go. I had to fix a bunch of other things, so I thought while in the neighborhood I would make some new things for the towns and stuff. Okay, I think that actually works okay. I mean, the weird thing is, like, internally it looks garbage, right? This doesn't make any sense. Not slightly. But from outside it looks okay. And yeah, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But like I said, from outside it looks okay. So maybe we'll call this merchant stall. Merchant stall 1. Okay. And then we can have another version that is simpler. And this will have slab down, low slab, boink. So that'd be like for displaying different things. Yeah. So we should install 2. This will be the one that's not covered up, but like has little shelves and stuff for putting fruit out or something, right? I think that's it for that. What do I want? I did. Thing is, like, I can't put water. I wanted to make a desert well. Though, you know, at some point we have to start like incorporating these into the game and testing. So let's real quickly make a desert well, because the current well for the doesn't look right in the desert towns. So what am I thinking for this? First of all, yeah, I know I just put those down. I think the base will be sandstone. Just thinking. So let's select sandstone and start messing with it. So we'll have like the base is sandstone. And maybe something like this. I'm trying to think of something that obscures kind of how the fountain works. Basically, it's like some kind of fountain. And eventually I'll be able to put like little water blocks in there, but I can't right now. So there'd be something here, and we'd have angles here maybe. Right, so you'd have little places to get your water. Oops, wrong way. Right. So eventually I could put liquid in there. Actually, I need to take the inside out and put a yeah, I think one of these. So it's kind of like a fountain. These don't really connect, so probably I want a post. Is that the right post? It is. we could have... Yeah, see, this would be so much better so I could put, that's the thing. So I can actually put fluid in there. I could put water in there. See, can I? Let's see. There we go. I mean, I've created another geometry selection problem for me because the angle blocks are just as bad. Oh boy. Yeah, I can't get the yellow to show up. Okay, there we go. And water and placed in the wrong place is almost impossible to get out again. Because it's a separate layer, kind of. Oh no, see? Oh, I got it. Cool. So frustrating. Oh wait, that's what I want. Yeah, just like that. Okay. And then now actually I'm gonna flip back over to here because I gotta get rid of these blocks to, if I want to play. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So there was already, I accidentally placed water in a bunch of spots that shouldn't have been in. So can I place it down there now? Yeah. There we go. So I made that water way too high. Doink. Hey, it's letting me clear it at least. So yeah, water. So you can set the water level when you place the block. I think probably 3 is what I want. Oh, I could just select these again. There we go. It's like a game that's not fun at all. Why does it work in some directions and not others? So how did I do it before? I like threw the crap. Keep setting it again in the same place. So can I just get rid of these temporarily? Because I apparently have it set in that one spot already, so that's good. Let's get rid of these for the moment. Go back to the fluid. Set it up like this. And then go back over here. Yeah, so there's something, I changed something and it's made this so much worse. Fortunately, this is so fortunately, this is something you guys don't normally have to deal with. Okay, so there's my little fountain, and oh, I gotta put the other things back. So we'll put that there, and then I actually probably want sand underneath here. Okay, so we got a little fountain thingy. So like it's got a little place that I could put a statue on top or something. But the water won't show up in the game because the way that gets blocks and stuff get inserted doesn't actually work. Actually, I'm gonna make this less geometrical. Let's do steep wedge here. I like the idea that yeah. Yeah. A little bit less angular. Anyway, there's a place where you could put a statue or something up here. And I kind of think that this should have been a wide cylinder so that it blocks more of the view and makes the whole thing more magical. Oops. Ugh. I think I just... Now, why do you keep... Oh, it's the water, I bet. So I think I accidentally... yeah. So annoying. So annoying. So let's get rid of this for a second. Yeah, no, that's not what we want. Yeah, so maybe coming at this from the bottom would be better. Nope. It's because I put water there, and that's confusing the shoot. But putting water there was so annoying in the first place. Come on. Be a pal. Yeah, so it was maybe a mistake to even mess with the water, because I've created problems for myself. But I can't get the block selected that I want. Maybe if I temporarily put a block... oh, I've still got water selected, that's why. Okay, so what if I temporarily put this block here, and then vertical cylinder I could place here. Hey, check it out. Okay, so then I can get rid of this again. Oh, and the water's gone too. Foo. Yeah, okay, that water's not so hard to put back. Oh, yes. I keep forgetting that I'm not in water mode when I'm in water. Yeah, I gotta like spend some quality time with this tool, really. Okay, so they got that done. Okay. And we want to put this back. Got that back. Yay. Yeah. Sandstone. Let's put the sandstone back. And we'll put this sandstone back up here too. Hey, check it out. So dumb. So dumb. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so this is some kind of ancient well. Save as desert well. All right, so let's like got 40 minutes left. I might be able to do one more thing, so let's pick one of the desert buildings, and maybe we'll make a 2-story version of this. So there is a side here where we could put a set of stairs, right? Okay. Let's get our low beam. Yep, it's already set to the right direction. Okay, so we've got stairs. From experience, I also know I want to... No. No, I want a wall. There we go. I want to have a little extra gap there because it otherwise feels like you're about to just drop off the... So, just to give it a little bit of... it's bad enough that there's no railing, right? I could make a wider staircase. Anyway, and so then we want to get rid of some amount of this trim and make a second floor. Okay, so the geometry is that we go 1, 2, and then we have a full width. Let's first of all make sure I'm saving this as Desert Building 4. Okay. Alrighty, and then probably no windows on that side. Same windows on this side with the same awnings. Oh, thank you. And then we have to do a similar thing over here. We put this up here, and then probably want a little awning. Actually, want a wide awning above the door, I think. And maybe like fully realized. I don't know. That's screaming for some kind of support, so let's just do like that. Or even see, even if we did like wide like that, it doesn't look right to me. So we'll do this, and then we're gonna have to finish the walls here. Actually, also let's finish making the ceiling, the roof up here. And then our architecture is such that we have ways to catch the rain, right? We don't want to waste rain, so we won't have perfectly flat buildings. And then I think we'll take advantage of the fact that there's already a actually, if I put this over here. Oops. I could fit one more window in. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a canopy. Like a little tent area. So they have like an outdoor deck where they can actually entertain people. I just feel like if you had money at all in the desert, you would be putting up canopies wherever you could, right? Now, why can I not find... There we go. And that one should be that. Okay. Boink. Oops. Oh, you geometry, you're getting me again. Oh, son of a bitch. Alright. So we are going to have to cheat for a second. Get rid of this. See. Yeah, I need to fix this. In fact, I'm going to go and write this down. So this is fix blockhead block picking. It's stupid. Alright, I'm going to put that, it's not going to go into this release, but I think it's a decent amount of complexity, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's, in fact, we're going to want to do the same thing here to place the ceiling looking thingies. Awning. A high slab is exactly what we want, in fact. Yay! Okay, so now I can get rid of these. And we can put some lights up. I always forget to put the lights, but okay, so which lantern is this? It's the correct one already. So put a lantern there and a lantern there and a lantern there. So they have plenty of lighting in their little under deck area. And this is the problem I had when I was messing with this in the game too. I've already made a mistake with the awning placement because the posts, like I need to be able to place a post under the corner for it to look right, and I can't place a post here. Because it's a there's already a block here, so I have to place the post. Oh boy, right there. And so then I have to like move this in. Oh, brother. And it's slightly lamer. And that makes me want to put that door back where it was. The other thing I could do is put a higher wall. I don't know. What do we think? See, the thing is, like, up here, it kind of looks a little lame, because you'd think the posts would be somewhat back. But if you were walking around underneath, like, it would look lame to just have a post sitting there, you know, not actually supporting anything. So they've got to be at the corners in order to, like, make us look sort of reasonable. But now I want that door to be a little further in if we're going to do it this way. And actually that might make sense because it's almost like silly. I purposely tried to steer away from Alright, so let's try this. Of course, my lights are all in the wrong place now. Actually, I like the symmetry of the lights a little better too. I do not like this window placement, so we were going to take it out. We're going to put a awning here. I'm okay with this. I'm certainly okay enough with this that we can call it done, right? And we got like, yeah, actually it only took 10 minutes, so in fact we could, maybe they have a barbecue area. We could rock capped cube. And then put a fire on top. I don't know. I think that's situational. Alright, I kind of feel like they'd have a higher railing. Anyway, I think it's fine. So, yep, they've got a light. No lights outside the door here. There you go. Now they can see. They're not going to immediately fall off. Maybe we'll do this. Give it a little bit of, yeah, I like that a lot. And that means I can also come in here and put a post. Oops, not that. Yeah, so we can come in here and there, oops. Yeah, that's fine-ish. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. That's pretty cool. So it's not like completely unreasonable. They're not gonna like come out this door and immediately fall over. I think if we bothered to put no window there, there ought to be an architectural reason for that. Come on. There we go. Oh. Okay, so we got a little extra room in here. Yeah. Just add some interest. Actually, so this is like the, so far I think this is the best of the desert buildings so far. Okay, so this will replace one of the bigger buildings, and we can go ahead and start. I got to remember all of the ones that we. Since this thing is, they don't automatically get included, right? So source, main, shaper, blocks, files, desert, star, blocks, to source, main, resources, objects, models, poise, yep, all, yep, okay. And we also did market, right? Market? Is it market? Market stall. Oh no, did I overwrite the... Oh no. Or did I call it merchant? M star. Merchant stall 1, merchant stall 2. I already have a market stall. What is the market stall? I also remember my tent. Market stall, dude. Oh, okay, sure. So that's a more permanent one. And it's actually got like, yeah, so cool. We potentially got the means by which to have like a whole little market area. Nice. Okay. Yeah, probably I should set that up as its own poi at some point, but like a generated building kind of thing with different market stalls that could be put in and out. Okay, so we added that. Let's do tent. Okay. So now I have to remember all of those. We had source, main, resources, models, poise. Going to grab this whole list up to the things that I know are new. Yeah, still I need to make a whole bunch of desert warehouses. That is one other thing that we didn't look at. Desert well. Yeah, what did I call that? Yeah, I wonder, I hope I didn't overwrite one of the oh, we're right here. Yeah, maybe... Oh, I can see which ones it opened. Did we not... I thought for sure I had finished a... I thought for sure we had put a warehouse in. But apparently not. So we've got another building. Yeah, docks we don't do yet. Keep, desert keep, okay. Market stall, those are new. Tent one, okay. Whew. Where did I thought for sure we were generating warehouses. Are these the deserts? Yeah. See, grep. CD source main shaper blocks files grep mud brick startup blocks. What? Oh. No. Unknown option. Doesn't make any sense. No, something's wrong. Oh, it's it's picking up dash. That doesn't make any sense. I think it's this. Let's just see if I had put it in warehouse. Nope. See, I thought for sure we had spent time creating a warehouse. But apparently not. Okay, so back to what we were doing. We're trying to get this in the game. And so we've already got 1, 2, 3. We'll want to put 4 in there too. I think these need to stay in the order that I added them. So we've got those. Bungalow's already in there. Keep is already in there. Desert Well is new. Market stall, test bucket. Okay. All those are normal 1. Okay. Bungalow is 3. I think that's accurate. I don't know why it's not doing this thing. What is building factory? Above ground. Yes, it's above ground. Okay, so we added all those new things. Then over here, probably the new desert building. We might so for farm 1, let's do the desert bungalow. And then oops. Let's do that like a 4. Okay. And then similarly, we will put 4 in here and in here. And we will take out the large farmhouse. And then where is the well? There it is. So what did we call it? It was desert well blocks. Okay. And that's all we have for now. Crap. Okay. Cliffs, that's fine. Isolated might have tint 1 dot blocks. What's the difference between isolated 1 and isolated 2? And isolated 3. Let's let a tint appear anywhere. Graves. Well, it's the same as these are ruins. These are potential civilization. I don't know. Not cliff though. Tall dungeon. Single. No, we don't want to take any of those. Building 1, building 2, building 3. That's fine. Graves, graves, graves. Sure. Desert keep. Yep, airport's fine. Okay, did we not... We didn't do anything with the market stalls because we're not generating market things in the... what we want to do is go over here to the deploy generator, and we may want to add things that can appear in a settlement. Merchant. Sure. Maybe not. No. Things that can appear in a village. Yes, a merchant. Call it merchant 1. So we have like small, medium, large merchants. Someday. And then these are the max types, which says for each of these, so for a settlement, you can never have more than this many of those things. For town, or for a village, let's have a few merchants, potentially up to 3 in a village. And in a town, probably as many as we have gardens. Okay. And then And then I think over here, yeah, so then we're going to need to add a new thing. Oh, we want to put tents. In the other, so I'm trying to remember like 20 different things at once. This was only for the desert, but we want tents to appear everywhere. So, I don't want to take away from the specials. Oh, that's a cliff anyway. So yeah, pumpkin altar could be a tent. It's not as big as those. These are all good. But we want to add merchant stuff. So index map merchant 1 could be this could be market stall, merchant stall 1, or merchant stall 2. Market stall. Merchant stall. Or so, and it's yep, it's just saying all the different. Oh, I see. We can actually make it lean towards one or the other. So you can control like how often one appears or over another by just including them more than once. So like there's a 3 in 5 chance now that it'll pick the one with the little canopy over it. And so then we can add this to each of the I want to put it in about the same place. So we did it right before the tower one. So what happens is when we say, I want to place a town here, the random generator says, I want to place a town here, and it's going to have like a building 1, a building 2, a market 1, merchant 1, all these different things, but it's really generic. And then in here, based on the type of biome, it has some random things it can pick for a temple or random things it can pick for a merchant now. And then we need to, I did the tent for, where did it go? So tent we put in isolated 1 for the desert stuff, and we put it in isolated 1 for the snowy area. Boy, tent in the snowy area, maybe not. Sure, okay, why not? Okay, temp moderated. We did isolated 1, yeah. Yeah, so you might see a random, so, okay. And all of these just appear once, so they have equal shot. Alright, I think that's everything, right? We did tent, we did all the marshes, we did desert well. Did we do, yes, we did the desert well. We did building 4, desert building 4. Okay, so what we're going to do, gosh, what world was I playing with? Okay, I'm going to waste time for a second. Sorry. I got to remember. I was going to copy the world that I was playing on. But I don't remember what it was. And I don't want to just randomly fumble around for... is this the world with the desert across the bay? Let us see. Miramili. Okay, so let's jump in. So see, I've smoothed over a lot of this stuff that used to be kind of rough. Hopefully the stream keeps up, so all two of you can still watch. Actually, I could have seen what world I was in before I even joined. Yeah, because it's only telling me the seed, which is -7 point blah 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 blah. I think I get the map. It'll tell me the world name. Map. Coastal Desert Bay. Yep. So like spawn is over here. So I teleported over to here, and I actually see town 3777. So we haven't even like regenerated this yet. So let me take this. Doink 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 doink. So we're gonna do CD worlds, make dir MD coastal desert bay 2 dot world, and we're going to copy over coastal desert world info to coastal desert space. We're gonna reset everything except for except for the actual seed. We're going to reset everything. In which case I need to go through. Yes, if you're ever doing this on your own and you go into your if you went into your home directory, there'd be like a Mythruna 2 directory, and in there's a worlds directory, and that's where all your worlds are stored. And so like I just copied the world info over, but if you ever do this, there's kind of a bug right now. You got to go and delete the world entity. Everything else should be okay. I think I can even get rid of the spawn point in case it moves it. But the seed is the important thing. And we'll call it Coastal Desert Bay 2 so that it shows up in the list as 2. And we should be able to get rid of this as well. And that should work. Everything else will generate itself. We just have to wait for it. So let's go in here. And already YouTube is complaining that there's not enough stuff on the to see the stream, but let's go single player. And when we click, oh, invalid. Why is it invalid? This world is, oh, so, okay. Crap. Okay, well I can actually fix that by putting some of that stuff that I took out back. Okay, so there. Alright, let's go back to single player. There we go. Now we can doink, doink. There we go. So we've got a, so it's basically the same world, same desert. We'll have to fly over there, select. It's going to take a lot longer to join because it's got to regenerate the world, but it doesn't know that it has to regenerate, so we don't get the nice little create progress. But yeah. I mostly try to make the world databases really resilient to hacking like this because I use it a lot. Yeah, see, it's trying to generate stuff in the background. That's why it popped open that other progress thing. Okay, so we're going to have to create a new character, which gives us time to play with that. So if you haven't seen this before, you now have a lot more options. You can randomize your Rusty. I don't know if I like that. Frey. I actually think I had something similar to Frey before. Adela. Okay. Adela would be good. Okay, so We're going to be in the desert, so let's wear shorts. Let's do green, maybe. So we've got the shorts. I think... What do I want to do for a shirt? Do the shirt vest, but I don't think I get to pick... Can I pick... I can pick dark suede. Where? Okay, that's good. Let's take off the burlap shirt that was showing underneath. Okay, she looks kind of cool. Not shoes. We want the... I like the high boots. And we'll make them match the outfit with the green stain. Green stained... So yeah, she's looking pretty cool. Leather braces, sure. Let's give her something around her neck. Go to the chain pendant. Let's do gold as the pendant. Yeah. Yeah, so you've got like a little gold necklace thing going on. Okay, that's good enough. Maybe give her a different hair color. Sure. She looks like someone who would be a blonde. And she's going to be in the desert world, so let's make her a little tan. That looks more, there we go. Okay, save and continue. See, it gives you something to do before you join. So it's still generating some stuff, but we've mostly got it there. So we'll be able to see what name it gave that town over there. I'm curious myself. Because we're going to start back at spawn. Come on, computer. You can do it. You gotta trust me that this is much better when the stream's not running. Okay, so we get some nice little bits of grass up here before the world turns to crap. Okay, so we've got Toyevo, Zakachka, and then this is Cost. Oh, that's interesting. Why does that name sound familiar? It's not a bad name for a desert town. Okay. Oh, you know what I didn't do? There's a place where you can go and add descriptions to all of the points of interest. I need to remember to do that. Because any new point of interest, when you want to have an NPC describe how to get there, they need to know how to describe it. Okay. So we are looking towards the good land, and there's a town or a village or something over here. It's a village. I mean, we could just go check out the village. Maybe it got some market stalls. And we can, yeah. Villages get names too. So this will be a little interesting trip. I'm going to teleport over to the desert town, but I thought we'd walk. It's like an opportunity to just make sure everything's working okay. Maybe we'll come across a tent as a point of interest. In fact, let's cheat. We'll enable all the things. And so then I can hit all of the points of interest along the way. Because we got like lots of caves and whatnot. Yeah, there's a village Bella or Beta. I can't tell. And there's an isolated poi along the way. So yep, let's just head in this direction. Maybe we'll see something cool. See some birds. I hear the birds. I meant to ask you guys, the two of you that are still here, how was your week? Did you guys have a good week? I went to see a buddy. I have a friend who's in a Pink Floyd tribute band. They play like 2 or 3 times a year. He actually lives up north now, but he comes down for that, and so I went to see them play last night. I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I like some of their stuff, and this was very well done. Yeah, see, we got the chuggies. So I'm gonna walk for a second. Live stream. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the live stream takes up 50% of my CPU when I'm not even playing the game, so. Okay. So we can probably run now. All of the. Yeah, there's actually 2. Is it 2 villages? No. Oh yeah, 2 villages. Bella and Miog? Mirog? I can't tell from here. When we get closer, I'll be able to zoom in on the name a little better. I need to implement the ability to have a pet, because I really would like to have a dog running around with me. Okay. We'll get there. So yeah, the next steps are trying to get ready for Halloween. So I'm going to cut a release tomorrow, and everyone can start working on their costumes for this year's Halloween party. I'm not sure what I'm going to exactly do. It'll probably be something similar to the hedge maze before. In fact, we may just recycle the hedge maze, but I'm trying to make dungeons work with like actual creatures and so on. And so that would be cool. I don't know if I would get attacking things working beyond something simple like just hit it to die. A pet bat. That'd be cool. I don't have bats in the game yet, but I could put them in. I imagine I could modify the bird mesh. Oh, that's one more thing I wanted to fix. You can't tell in here, but any of the shirts that actually have arms, there are some seams that show the skin through, and I need to fix that. Because it's bad enough on the female models, because it does. You can see seams on the female models, but it's really bad on the male models because the UVs are slightly screwed up on those. They were slightly screwed up on the female models. They're a lot screwed up on the male models. So you see these seams at the shoulders, and it's worse when they're animated and stuff. And that's just like a little fit and polish issue that's been bugging me for some time, so I may load up Blender tomorrow morning and see if I can fix that before I cut a release. Running under the tree, wee! Alright, I'm gonna fly, because I want to go see the village. I wonder if this village has any merchants. Okay, let's see if we can glide into the land without doing any more lifting. There we go. Yay, we did it. Yeah, you can use Control Shift to run super fast, but I caution you that it really makes the game work hard generating the world ahead of you. and so you may cause crashes and things that are not normally a problem. Because even eventually when you can fly airships and stuff around, take sailing vessels, they won't go that fast either. Like it's telling me right now I'm shift running, regular shift run, and it's telling me what is my speed. My velocity is 6 meters per second, which is pretty fast. If I hit control, go like 25 meters per second or something. Okay, actually it did make a merchant. We got the crappy one up here. I always go find the NPC and introduce myself because I'm like testing the... Anyway, we got a little merchant stall here. Hey, yes, I'd like your finest turkey leg, please. Your Gafen leg. Finest Gafen leg. Okay. Let's find... Oh, this is a village. It won't have a... won't have an NPC. Alright, so we saw a merchant. Not necessarily a merchant I wanted. We've got... Oh, I can look at the town names. So we've got... Yeah, Milog and Bella. So, let me turn off Cliff Poise farms, large farms, settlements, small farms, and cave systems. Do we have anything else? Yeah, we have another village up here. Yeah, so there must be like a Slavic, Russian, or something influence up in that area. We've got some names over here I can't read because they're too small. Alright, so let's teleport over here. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roughly. 6,000. So let's warp minus 11,000. Let's do 12,000 even. 200, and then I think that's 28017. All right, ready to warp. Sold out. What's sold out? Oh, the shop. Okay. I didn't see that pop up before. Okay, so yeah, we teleported pretty close. Oh, Costa's still quite a bit of ways. But okay. Oh, we're in the cold desert. Alright, so we're going to be heading down this way. We can start walking. Let the portal blindness sort itself out. Yeah, I'm just doing a regular jog right now because it's still generating the world, you know. It doesn't know what's over here yet. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we got a couple villages over here. I can't pronounce that, but it's there. Oh, we got a Potash. Somebody can probably pronounce these. They're based on real languages, so. All right, you guys are probably not gonna want me walking around in the dark. So let's set it back to morning time and start walking. Hey, little birdie. Oh, yep, you don't like me. On our way, crow. Yeah, we're still generating far buildings and stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and run. Yeah, I need to finish the inventory improvements so that there can actually be loot and stuff, because you know, chests and containers, and started that refactoring some time ago, and now I'm gonna have to relearn what I did. That has been the nice thing. This last month I've tried to follow through on things I've started. On the other hand, I did relearn how the world region generation, like how to detect land masses versus oceans and stuff, and I wrote up a whole bunch of stuff on that, was working on that, and that's just not going to make it for this release. So I have to put a pin in that again. But I would like to be able to know whether a body of water is an ocean or a lake, for example. I would like to know if a group of trees is part of a forest, like a big forest. I have like a woodcutter's hut that I'd like to add to some of the points of interest, but I don't know where to add it because when I'm generating points of interest, I don't know. We've got a desert farm over here. I don't know whether I'm in a forest or not, and I don't want to generate a woodcutter's hut out in the middle of open fields or a desert or something, right? So desert's easy to detect. Whether you're in a big enough forest to support a woodcutter is a little harder to detect. And eventually I'd like to have region names, so like you'll know what continent you're on, that kind of thing. Okay, so we've got a desert building here for a farm. Figure out if it's an ocean sounds expensive. Well, so I generate the world at a much larger resolution, or sort of low resolution, at a much more zoomed out way. That's how I create the map preview, for example. And so it works on that level. And so you basically find everything that's water, you connect that into a region, everything that's land, connect that into a region. And then when regions connect across different sedactyls, sedactyl being like a 16-kilometer square, basically this sedactyl is bigger than we can see here, and I generate a 5 by 5 area of those when I generate the world. So I know the general gist of the land. There is sort of an issue that if you're at the coast of a continent and you see that that's an ocean because it's big, and then you cross the continent and you see, oh, that's another ocean because the continent is huge and you haven't gone all the way around the continent for this ocean to connect to this ocean, kind of like the Atlantic and the Pacific. So I've had to account for that, and that's one of the reasons it didn't get done, is because I need to make sure that if I've already found an ocean and named it, like the Pacific Ocean, and then you go down to the tip of South America and suddenly you find the Atlantic Ocean, I can't go renaming the Pacific Ocean the Atlantic Ocean. I've got to keep its name, but I've got to somehow know that they're really the same connected body of water. Okay, so we've got another desert farm here that's just using a regular building. Okay, cool. That's some more tests we've done. Let's go flying a little bit over the desert heat. Someday I need to implement the heat blur, and I need to implement sunglasses. Because someday, if you spend a lot of time walking in the desert sun or the frozen tundras, you will get, snow or sun blind or sand blind. Like your eyes will adjust, and then you won't be able to see indoors. So you can temporarily damage your eyes, just like in real life. So there'll be some kind of eye protection. Or certain races will have that built in. Okay, so how far away are we from the town at this point? Still pretty far from Cost. I still feel like I think it's similar to the Koth or whatever. There's a, yeah, that's the name of a character. Is that the name of the character in that Name of the Wind book? Alright, yeah, so see we're still, come on, don't, Hey, why are there so many birds here in the dirt? In the cold desert. I can tell you why. Because this, even though this is a cold desert, it is warm enough. I think it's probably in the 60s. Well, oh, so it's actually kind of warm here. 27.4 C, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. But not hot enough to make a desert, I guess. There's a cutoff, I think 30 C or something is the cutoff. Low rainfall, no vegetation. And so anything below that turns into these cold deserts, which nothing can grow here, sometimes trees. And it's possible that my algorithm is just slightly off too. But keeps it interesting. Because like not even dry grass is growing here, which means there's no moisture. No rainfall. Yeah, so now we're back in the... So let's just see. 80 degrees. Oh, no, I have no idea why this is desert and that was not desert. I'd have to look into it in more detail. Anyway, over here is our desert town. Should have lots of interesting desert buildings in. Hopefully we get some of the two-story buildings. That'd be kind of cool. Get to see one for reals. I see one already. Yep, it's got a... Okay, so there's an NPC in this town and they've got 3 pets. Now last time, all 3 of them were birds. Or the Gafen. It's weird not only that 2 of the 2-story buildings generated right next to each other, but they generated in the same orientation. Which I wonder what the odds of that are. And they're backwards, so they flipped over, right? So the stairs are over here. You know, remember I put the stairs on the other side. Oh no. The awnings are busted. Ooh. Okay, so add a bug that I gotta fix. Come on. Man, I must be cranking so much memory right now. I didn't clear out PhotoP, so PhotoP's probably taking a couple gig on its own. Engine world generation. What would I call this? World generation. Sure. Awning. Blocks don't rotate correctly in inserts. This one's got to be fixed. That's my thing for tomorrow or tonight, is to fix that. Because see, all the awnings, like, they rotated it backwards, basically. So something's wrong with those. But otherwise, the building looks okay. Got a little room back here. This would be maybe a bedroom. And this particular house is mostly outdoors. I'm going to run time back again. Okay, so let's check out some of the other buildings. This one turned out okay. Yeah, so another one that's backwards. Okay, so let's check this one. Oh, we got a fountain. Like I said, though, no water. So they're really dry in this town. Got a merchant stall with the little canopy. Nice. No merchant there today. We've got a building with the walls inside. And plenty of window space. Okay, so this is another problem. Because I used sand underneath, it didn't fill in, so that's another thing I gotta fix. That's just something I'm going to have to remember. No, I don't want to have to remember. Let me just keep track of these little things. Yeah, two-story, two-story desert building, bad foundation, stairs. It's like we're really down to like the last punch list, and so this is art. Oops. There we go. Okay, so that's a bug. But the awnings are all pointing in the correct direction. Okay, so where is our NPC? I want to introduce ourselves to the NPC. There's another market stall. Another two-story building. I think they appear too often. Yeah, they appear way too often. So I gotta fix that too. And here's our NPC. What's your name, fellow traveler? I'm Adela. Oh, hey, Kolif. Kolif Penisley. Yeah, sure. Rows of dirt. Okay. I can try to find it for you. See you later. Penisley. And so the journal then will have his name, Kolif Penisley. Yeah, so I changed the NPC name generation to use the same name generation as that I knew, the new name generation stuff. Yeah, the yeah, these two-story buildings, I either need to come up with more of them or I need to make it less frequent because they generate way too often for how little variety there is. Yeah. I probably need that even for like the country names and stuff, or the town names, because it occurred to me, yeah, same thing. Like you could have some really lewd or rude towns generate, or potentially some politically sensitive town names generate right next to each other. That would be a little weird or something. So probably I will have to implement something like that eventually. Anyway, so it works. I've still got some little tweaks and stuff to make, but I think for the most part these are going to be able to stay. I may spend some time tonight creating some alternate two-story buildings, because look at this. I have no idea why these are generating so often. Probably because there's only 3 buildings in that particular group. It's probably, so yeah, probably, yeah, I just need to mess with the frequency and or slash add some things anyway. So I'll mess with that. But we're a half hour beyond where I would normally stop, so I'm gonna like start wrapping it up here. Yeah, see again the stairs. So I gotta put foundation under the stairs. Yeah, really though. Nice light. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I like the lanterns. And you can like now you can hang them from the ceiling or you can put them on the floor. There's lots of different orientations of them. Yeah, I don't know, if I was living in the desert, here's where I'd want to live. Slightly under the ground with breezeways. Oh, you know what? I need to put vents in the walls so that the airflow can flow through, because that's the whole point of this, is that it'd be nice and cool inside. All right. So yeah, it looks cool at night here. Some things Mythruna does right. Now see why we get sand here when we're not supposed to, but it didn't put sand here when it was supposed to. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. So I'm going to mess with that tomorrow too. Regardless, I'll cut a release. It'll have these bugs, or I'll remove those particular items or something. But I'm going to cut a release tomorrow night regardless, barring some new critical bug that shows up. And so let's start shutting it down. If you are working on a productive or a project that requires creativity, I hope that you have a really... Oh boy. It doesn't even have memory to load the music. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It really matters. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, and I hope you have a productive week. Hang out, watch for the release tomorrow night, download it, give it a try, etc. And I will catch you guys next week. Thanks a lot.